At Total Pharmacy Care, we fill your prescriptions and answer any questions about your medications. No distractions and no long lines. Tell your doctor to send your prescriptions to Total Pharmacy Care. Welcome back to another episode of the Bank On It podcast. This is episode number 37. Shout out to Sean Alexander. That was only 37 I got. This is a very tough number. It's hard to find anybody that wore number 37.
Either, so.
Anyway, we're back with another episode, and as you can see, we're joined by University of Pikeville head men's basketball coach and athletic director Kelly Wells. Thank you so much for joining us and inviting us to your office to film today, since air conditioning is out at the arena currently. Anyway, we appreciate you having us over, and want to talk to you a little bit about recruiting and the season coming up, and then just everything else that's been going on.
Yeah, Coach, just kind of start off by, what's going on this summer. How close are you getting your roster ready for next season, and just kind of fill people in on that stuff right now?
Well, there's a misconception that in the summertime coaches and athletic directors and folks like that don't work much and kind of sit by the pool all day. So I assure you we've been working hard. And, it's been camp season. We just completed 2 weeks of camp, and it's always a fun time to be able to handle the kids and be around them and see the joy in their faces, and teaching them basketball and just the fundamentals without the stress of having to win and lose has been a great couple weeks. And we're pretty close on our recruiting. We still have one left that we've got to sign. We kind of save that all the time for the best available down the stretch, and we always seem to come through in the end. But my staff has been working extremely hard with recruiting, and it never ends. Like even when this class, we're already working on the next class and the one after that. So it's a constant turnover, and it's a constant thing we look to do better at. We're excited. I think we've got a chance to be extremely good. Having Jordan Perry back and healthier this coming year will be a completely new group for us. Luke Layu coming back as an All-American. Got some really good pieces. Xavier Guana as an all-conference player. To build around those three is going to be tremendous. But we've signed 3 freshmen. Signed a couple of junior college transfers, as well as hopefully another transfer that will be coming in here late. So we're excited about the group we've got. And on the athletic side, it's recruiting as well in every sport, not just one. It's 22 of them going strong, and facilities and our master planning. We're getting ready to break ground on our new football and soccer complex up on Bob Amos Hill, and there's a lot that goes in with the planning of that, and we're thankful for the work with the city, and the ability to partner with them on this project is going to be so much fun, and we're excited to see that come around to fruition, and kind of see what that's going to look like for us.
Yeah, and speaking of the athletics director position, I think you're in around a year now. You've been doing this. Maybe a little over, maybe a little under. But just kind of talk about just the different aspect of that. I know you were so busy before as basketball coach, but now you've got your hand in everything. Just kind of talk about some of the struggles or the things that you had to get used to, and now how that's kind of settled out, because I think you've kind of got your feet under you on that side too now.
Yeah, I think the intentionality of scheduling is the hardest piece. You have the basketball piece, and then you have the athletic director piece, but let's not forget a very important part of that's my family. So trying to break that down into thirds has kind of been difficult. We've been able to manage that and do that. We had a great basketball season again this year, and raising the expectations of everybody in our program along with the support. You can't just say here's your expectations and not give us support. So we've been trying to give the support we need, and what we call moving the needle on everything we do, from scholarships to facilities to rosters to coaching, and mentoring is just a piece of who I am. I've been in education and coaching forever, and I think the mentoring now of not just my team, but also mentoring of other teams and other coaches is a piece that I have a big passion for, and we're trying to grow it. We're just, everything we do, we want it to be first class. We don't have everything in every category, but certainly trying to raise that bar and move that needle to where we're competitive and good. And it's important that the experience for our student athlete is tremendous. And we believe a piece of that experience is also winning. We're not going to ignore the fact that winning is important. And when they start taking scoreboards down from the games, then we'll weigh a lesser value in that. But if we're going to tip it up, or we're going to kick it off, or we're going to throw the first pitch, we're going to try to win. And certainly we'll support our coaches in that. And we do have a great group of coaches. They've been fun to work with. And golly, it's like being a principal. If you've got good teachers, the principal's job's easy. So it's my job to make sure we've got the right coaches in place for our student athletes, because just frankly they deserve it.
Yeah, and just kind of talk about, like you said, the good coaches. I know Ty's been there with you forever. You've got some really good guys that you trust and can rely on with the basketball stuff. That had to make the transition at first a little easier. But now, I know, on the athletics director side, your SID, your assistant SIDs, and everybody. Just kind of talk about how, you touched on it a little bit, but just how that kind of played into making the transition a little bit easier?
Would be absolutely no chance to be able to do this at any kind of high level whatsoever. Ty Compton's been with me for forever now, it seems like, as my associate head coach, Evan Faulkner as my assistant. Like, without those two people on the basketball side of things being there all the time and trusting them with almost anything that we do within the program, there would be no chance to do this at a high level. So I'm thankful for those guys. And, if that weren't in place, those guys weren't there, I would not be able to do that at a high level on the basketball side. And that's why we haven't had any drop-offs. They've had to assume a lot more responsibility and a lot more duties, and they've done that as they do all the time, and they're just workers, and they do a great job with it. So that's helped me do that. And, the addition of our new sports information director and Sean Carley and Lakia Bailey in that capacity. It wasn't for Lakia. We call her Mooka. She gets mad when I call her Lakia. If it wasn't for those two, like, literally, there would be no chance of me doing this. They keep me organized. They help me do the things that are important. And the great thing about all those people is they have the same mission as I do. They want everything to be as good as it can be. If we're going to print it, we're going to play it, we're going to do anything with it, we want it to be first class, and we want it to be perfect. And that's our goal. We're chasing the best version of whatever our athletics department looks like.
Yeah, and speaking of, we'll look at some of the basketball season last year. A really great season, but you mentioned Jordan Perry earlier. That injury, I think, really hurt that team, in the playoffs especially. Once you get to Kansas City, a kid, with that kind of IQ, the athleticism. I mean, but just kind of talk about the season in general and just, having him back next year, what that would kind of –
Well, we spent an entire summer basically developing the system we wanted to play, and then when we got here, we couldn't play that style of play anymore. So not to put that kind of pressure on a kid, because he just did so much for our program, and we had high expectations. And we did have a great year, finishing in the Elite Eight. It's only been done 5 times in our school's history, but it took us some time to get there. And when we finished the season, I looked at our team in the locker room, and I felt like we had sucked every piece of anything out of that group. I think we got as far as we possibly could have gone. I felt good about it. No regrets whatsoever in anything we did. So that's a good feeling as a coach. But certainly it took us from a really, really good team, and adding that one more element, and that one more element being really, really good at a lot of things, took us into a position where we had a chance to win championships. And I'm proud of our guys' resiliency. They were tremendous all season long, but it does change, and it's harder when you don't have your full personnel there. But thankful for his recovery, and that's the most important thing. If he never plays again, that he's healthy now. So we'll have a chance to come, and still has 2 seasons of competition to play, and I think his fingerprints will be over a lot of our success.
Yeah, and just kind of talk about last year too. In years past, it seemed like the post play, you didn't really have a go-to guy in the post. Last year you had a couple guys with Darrell Dominic and Lehue. I mean, just kind of talk about that dynamic with this team. I mean, it seemed like a real cornerstone that I thought was very successful.
It's always been a missing piece for us, but like you could go around to almost every university that struggles in that department. I mean, it's a hard thing to find really good post players, and the high major folks, they get post players real easy, but it's not certainly our situation. But to be able to have the 2-headed monster of Luke Lehue as well as Darrell Dominic gave us 2 different worlds. Like, Darrell was one of the strongest, biggest human beings that you could ever put out there, and then Luke was more of a skilled post player that could score around the basket, could run, defend a little longer, not a little, a lot longer. So we had a lot of options there, and when those 2 were clicking on the same beat, we were unbelievable. Now we've got to continue to grow that to where that 2-headed monster is more consistent, and I thought Luke finally got that once he relaxed towards the end of the season. I thought Darrell played a little better early in the season, and roles kind of switched a little bit, and Luke ended up being an honorable mention All-American, and just had a great year. So we're looking for great things out of him as a senior, and Darrell as a junior, he's still going to be one of the bigger human beings you've ever seen, and he's a problem. So if he's ready to play and ready to work, I think we've got a chance to really have a great post situation.
Yeah, just kind of talk about in your time. I know when you first got to UPIKE a long time ago. Just kind of talk about, you set those goals, and now you've built this program into your goals. I mean, just kind of looking back at your career here at UPIKE. I mean, just talk about the hard work and how you kind of built this program to a national contender every year.
Well, there were growing pains. I'm thankful for our traditions that we've had in the past, but certainly those traditions weren't here when I first took over. But we've had some great coaches here who have been very successful, and I'm thankful. We honor them all the time, and I would never, under any circumstance, try to disrespect the work that they put in. But when we first got here, it was a challenge. I mean, we really didn't have a very good roster. it really took a lot of work for us to get to the point where we could be competitive, and we took some lumps. I mean, that first season, I have amnesia. I don't remember what our record was back in those days, but we've certainly been able to shift it a little bit, and that's capped off by a national championship. And once you get into that level of play, things just become a little bit easier. Recruiting's easier, scheduling's easier, getting the kids to play harder, and just having pride in what you're doing. And I think that's kind of the shifting point from that 2010, 2011 area. We've been to the national tournament, I think, 7 out of the last 8 years, 6 out of 7 last years, and we've had chances to win national championships. We've had chances to win the conference championship, and that's what we're proud of. But certainly we're also proud of the living trophies we produce too, as players and people that come here. And those kids are out doing great things, being dads and husbands and businessmen and leading our communities, and we're really proud of the final products that we continue to have. The thing that gets you is once you get one of those groups down, you start a new one and you continue on. I don't know if there's ever an ending cycle, and we don't want it to be ending. We want those folks to call us and be a part of the Alumni Association and all of that kind of stuff. So we're proud of what we have here, and not only am I proud of that, but I'm proud of all our teams, proud of our athletics, and we got to continue to grow that, and whatever winning looks like for each one of those sports will be different, but we want to grow that to the best possible capabilities of each of those.
Yeah, and you see a lot of people when they talk about successful coaches, they have a coaching tree under them. That is what the term is. A lot of people might not know some of the guys that just even in this region that has coached under you. If you would kind of talk about some of the coaching tree and highlight some of the guys that, which I know there's so many, it's hard to talk about everybody, but just talk about some of the guys that came from your coaching tree.
Yeah, you're going to put me on the spot, and I'm for sure going to make somebody upset when I forget somebody. But just as you think here locally, you've got Brandon Kidd, who's over at Prestonsburg. You've got Ryan Whitaker, who's at Pike Central. His new assistant is Hobo McCoy. You've got Elijah Justice, who's down at Pikeville High School. And, those folks are super local kids who have just had their fingerprints on everything that we've done. And, you look around at some of the college highlight guys. You've got Richie Riley was on my first staff here, is now the head coach of University of South Alabama, who's done just a remarkable job. You've got Matt Bringman, who left here, is now at IUPUI as an assistant coach. You got Matt Taylor, who's currently at McNeese State as an assistant coach. You've got Nick Bowman, who is currently at Nicholls State as an assistant coach. Bradley Yoder, who is now at Bethany College as an assistant coach. Goodness gracious. You've got Brett Rector, who just took the Parkersburg South job in West Virginia. So, we've got a lot of guys. Donald Thomas, who's now with Under Armour, and his cousin Mookie, who is in Under Armour group. They run all the Under Armour in Baltimore, Maryland. So it's a long list, and I'm sure I forgot somebody. I have to get my list out to catch them all. But so proud of them, and really those are a lot of the reasons we do what we do, is to try to grow other people to chase their dreams and goals. And I think we've got a lot of guys doing that.
Yeah, and you've also produced a lot of guys who went on and played professionally, whether it's here in the States or overseas. I mean, just talk about how big that is, helping these guys pursue their goals, playing professionally.
Yeah, well, professional for everybody looks different. Some professional may be going to get a job,
Right.
So certainly we're proud of those that have done that, and that's the main goal, is to make sure that they move to a profession, whatever that looks like. But we've been blessed. A lot of guys are playing overseas. Currently we have some in the United States that are playing. I think our total, Ty and Evan would be able to get you that real good. We've got a printout that shows all of those guys and what they're doing. But we're in the high 20s, low 30s of guys who've either played overseas, or are currently playing overseas right now. And I love getting those emails from them and their stats, and that's fun to follow them and watch them do great. And again, we're not building an NBA franchise here. We're building men, and certainly to see them to be able to chase their dreams is good. But that all ends at some point. That ball quits dribbling, and I know they're prepared after that piece to move to another profession, which is work and being a good man and a husband and father and those kind of things.
Yeah, just kind of talk about the importance of the community as well, because I know that's something important to you, and having your guys out in the community and stuff. But having a place like the Expo Center where you all play your home games and being so involved, just talk about how big that is for a program to get the community backing.
Well, we're going to have to jump in right there, because it's now the Appalachian Wireless Arena. It's no longer the Expo Center.
My bad.
And I want to make sure we protect all sponsorships involved. And we're also thankful for Community Trust and the box office and all that they do there. Yes. But it is a major piece of recruiting for us. It's a major piece of retention for us and satisfaction, and we're blessed beyond belief. But certainly the community here is what what is so attractive to me. I want our guys to be great community partners. I want all our teams to do that, and they really do a fantastic job. But we want to make the people here. When I took the job, one of the words I said, I want you to be proud of the product that we have, and hopefully people are proud of that. We continue to chase being better. But we're out at the churches, we're out doing camps, we're out doing the community service, and we want to model that for all our coaches. There's some of our coaches do a much better job at it than we do, and we're thankful for that. And we're always going to be giving back to our community because they deserve it, and we want a piece of that. And heck, my kids are part of this community. My wife is assistant principal at the high school, and we all kind of partner in that growth of the Appalachian region, which we're proud of.
Yeah, and you touched on about the athletics not slowing down during the summertime. Football, the guys are getting ready to report probably here in a week or so. Just talk about how busy it's getting ready to be once you got football and volleyball and all these fall sports and the kids coming back on campus. I mean, there's a lot of excitement, a lot of hard work, but I mean, just talk about how busy it's getting ready to be.
It is. Next week, football reports for their summer weightlifting and all that stuff, and that kind of, once it hits the 4th of July weekend, after that, it's here they come. One of those kind of deals. We don't start till late August, so we will have a pretty good, healthy summer. But really, this place, I love visiting with Mooka and Sean and my coaches, and but this is about those student athletes, And so when they start showing up and they start coming around, that's what it's about. We love seeing them here and want to support them in that. And really, frankly, that's the piece we love. Coaches love coaching kids. If it wasn't for the kids, we wouldn't be coaching. Right. So we're thankful that they'll be here, but certainly to be able to be intentional with some family time, I need to take some of that here a little while. But really glad to see the kids getting ready to come back, and we'll have great plans for them. And the sparkle in their eye when they get ready to start school, you just can't replace that. So we're excited about that piece too.
And before we wrap up, one of the things I wanted to ask you about is organ donation. I know that's something near and dear to your heart. I mean, just talk about how important organ donation and raising awareness is, and how you kind of help out with that stuff as well.
Yeah, my foundation, Wells Tough, we try to do as much as we can in getting the word out. And really, it's an individual decision of organ donation and tissue donation. And, but education's power in that. There's a lot of misconceptions about what that looks like for other people. And, if you stop and think, there's a lot of people that are challenged by the need. And so, it's great to be educated on that. And, again, it's like anything. If you're educated about it, I think you would want to step to the table to provide that opportunity for others. And certainly it's going to be our mission for as long as we're on this earth to try to spread that good message. So we encourage everybody to get educated about that and follow your heart.
All right.
Anything else? No, that's it. Thanks again to Coach Kelly Wells for having us over and sitting in on the interview, and we'll see you next week for another episode.
It means a lot to me just because, I get to bring, 3 of my best friends back here with me to see my hometown. They get to hear about it a bunch. I talk about it so much. And, being Lexington, being in Kentucky, they get to hear about me a lot. So they finally get to see Wild West Paintsville, I guess. So it's pretty fun. And to see all these kids come out here, got to talk to a bunch of Little League Cal River kids and see them and their parents and, talk to them, about, having fun and playing baseball and whatever sport it is with each other. And cherish it, because it can go by so fast. So to see these kids come in here and have a smile on their face, and for us 4 people to come out here and give back to Paintsville and the people of Paintsville, it really means a lot to me, and I couldn't be happier to be back. My Nana's kitchen. I got to go back home. Nana's home cooking, whether it be breakfast, lunch, or dinner. So I don't usually like to eat out when I'm back here. I eat out a lot of legs, so when I'm back here, I like to eat that home cooked meal. It goes hand in hand. Just like I tell everybody when I come back, wherever you go, you always see a UK T-shirt, a UK flag, a UK bumper sticker. This is Big Blue. This is Big Blue country down here. So, people of Eastern Kentucky, have done an unbelievable job of supporting UK athletics and supporting me and my teammates over the past couple of years. So to come down here and be able to give back, and to show that UK is coming to you guys instead of you guys coming to UK. That's really special. It means a lot to us, and we're really glad we're able to do it. A bunch of jackasses, who cares? ESPN, CBS, NBC, I don't care. Season starts in August, and we'll see how it goes. Big dog. He's he's the bread and butter. He's one of the greatest recruiters, in college football. He means a lot to our tight end room, means a lot to our offense, a lot to our team. So to have Big Dog on that staff, it means a lot to us, and definitely helps this program to take it where it is today. And it's not just East Kentucky, just kids in general. I was actually watching the College World Series, and I was listening to the analysts say that one of the coaches wouldn't sign a guy if he only specialized in one sport. And I think that specializing, almost really cheats you in life. Almost it cheats you out of experiences that you can have in other areas of sports with other people that may not play your other sports. It creates more bonds. I believe it helps you become a better athlete because you basically use all the same tools that you use in baseball, basketball, and football. It's just different motions at different times you use it. So, maybe the speed in basketball can help somebody on the speed on the football field, or the twitchiness on the baseball field can help somebody in twitch on the basketball court. And everything just goes hand in hand. So you really can't just specialize one thing and say, hey, I'm going to sit here and focus on this and expect yourself to get better. Obviously, you can if you really go hard at it and really dial into it. But I believe in just playing all three sports or how many sports you want to. I'm not saying you don't have to. You can play all three or 2, 1, 4. Doesn't matter. But don't shoot yourself. And go out there and experience some things that if you didn't play all three sports, you wouldn't get to experience. Right now we're in summer workouts. Coach Ed and Coach Hill are kicking our butts in there and out there running. That'll last through this month and it'll last through July. I believe camp starts the last week of July, so summer workouts transition right into football camp and then long round of the season. Can't wait. I mean, it's just that we're not going to predict anything. We're not going to say we're going to come out and do this and that. I can just say that, we may have lost a lot of great guys, but we've also gained a lot of great guys and guys that have stepped up in the forefront and taken charge as leaders and have taken charge in their position room. So I'm really excited to see what we do at camp and what we do obviously on the football field as a team. I mean, just a message for high school kids in general, go out and enjoy Friday nights. There's nothing like playing Rates of Lights Friday nights with your buddies. And, there's not really that much pressure. You're not on national TV or anything like that. So just go out there and have fun, cut it loose, and, hit some people. I talked to a bunch of guys that either got drafted or didn't get drafted. I talked to Josh, I talked to CJ, I talked to everybody. And, everybody's doing really good. Everybody's competing very well in all their camps and really enjoying themselves. And it's really good to see our guys succeeding at the next level. So this year's class will, hopefully duplicate or even better that class. Not really. I mean, for me, it was just I just wanted to do something that, for me, that I knew would get me to college and something I love to do. And I'm really glad that, for colleges to come in that recruited me, also got to see some glimpses of these other kids, and it brought a lot of attention here. And I don't really pride myself on saying that I did this and I did that, because in the ultimate end there was a lot of guys that got offered before me. But to be mentioned in that category, it really means a lot to me, and hopefully a lot of mountain kids get a lot more attention than it has ever since I've been recruited, which has been great. And we're hidden, so for these kids to get that kind of exposure and to get out there and get some of these offers, coaches looking at them, means a lot to this area.
Well, this is a big honor for the city of Paintsville. A small town like us have a kid like Kash Daniel that's made it as big as he has, and this is a real good thing for the city of Paintsville. But more than that, it's a real big thing for the kids of the city of Paintsville. And you can tell by what's going on in there, they're having a great time. Yeah. All right. Well, let's talk about the kind of athlete he was. He was a really good three-sport athlete. Mm-hmm. He's probably as good a three-sport athlete that has ever come out of Paintsville High School. But he chose football, and that's fine. But he was a kid who could play everything. The thing that impressed me about Kash, I've coached a lot of kids in my lifetime. And I've coached a lot of competitive kids, but I don't think there was ever one as competitive as Kash Daniel. Yeah. Well, rightfully so. We've had a lot of kids go to big-time schools and then come back home. Yeah. But Kash is one of those kids that when he sets his mind to do something, he's going to do it. And that's going to help kids in Eastern Kentucky. If they could just realize how hard he worked throughout his high school career to get where he is today, then they will be better off. I'm just proud of him.
Well, I'm extremely proud of Kash, and I'm extremely proud of the entire Kentucky football team because, it's a team effort. Yeah. And he grew up around a ball. Yeah. Baseball, football, basketball, it was always a ball.
Yeah.
So I'm just really proud of Kash. He's done so well, and hopefully his health will continue and they won't kill him. I always told him, I said, Kash, they're trying to kill you. And so he's done well.
You know, Kash, and be able to see his hometown and see how much it means to him. And, you know, we were walking up in here, he was just going through like the baseball field and just telling us all the memories that he had on that field and everything. It was just, it's cool to see that, and I've never been out here, so it was a good ride to come out here and get some good support. Here's the jail, here's the my high school, all types of stuff. So I was like, wow, just looking everywhere. But it was cool though. I mean, it's a small town, but I'm kind of used to a small town, because I have a lot of family in a small town. So it's just kind of cool, just to be out here and see where he's from. I'd say when it's time, for the season to come around, I know that everybody's going to be dialed in and stuff like that. So we really don't worry about, how that goes with the rankings and stuff like that. Everybody just has to go out there and prove themselves and play the game that they know how to play. So we really don't spend too much time on looking at the rankings and everything. We just really focus on, summer workouts and trying to finish those right now. So I feel like we'll be fine though. We've been really working really hard. It motivates me a lot. I wish I could go to Oklahoma and do the same thing, but no, it's really cool just to come out here and get to meet a lot of Kash's old friends and coaches and family and friends and seeing just little kids that look up to him. That's the biggest part that touches me. I just know from right now from the workouts that we're hungry, of course.
We want to say thank you real quick to our sponsors, the City of Pikeville. Go check out their website at www.visitpikeville.com.
We're also brought to you by Presbyterian Homes of Cedar Creek and Good Shepherd at Phelps. If you are looking for quality care for loved ones, look no further than Presbyterian Homes of Cedar Creek and Good Shepherd at Phelps. Both facilities treat your loved ones with care and respect. They offer therapy, daily activities, exquisite cuisine, and home-like settings to make your family members feel at home. Call to schedule an appointment today. At Cedar Creek, call Jessica Thacker at 432-8243, and at Good Shepherd, call 456-8725. Caring for your loved ones is what we do best.